just asking questions before, during, and after our reading. Today we are going to do the same. Today we're going to read pages 12 to 20. Today you will need for this lesson your Making Meaning student response book, open to page 19. If you do not have that in front of you, go get that now. You can pause this video. You will see on that page 19 that you have 4 stop signs, 4 places where you can stop to ask questions while we're reading this text today. You will also need a pencil and a piece of notebook paper if you'd like to jot down any other ideas while we're reading. So let's get started. We're right here on page 12. And I have up 4 post-it notes. Again, just to remind us, we have 4 stopping points where we're going to pause for a moment, think about what we've learned, and then ask a question about something that we still want to know or want to learn. The teeth of non-poisonous snakes can't do much damage to a predator, and even the fastest snake has a hard time escaping from an animal with 4 legs. So some snakes have ways of tricking their enemies. Many have rounded tails that look like their heads. When threatened, that means when they feel like they're in danger, these snakes hide their heads and show their tails. The predator attacks the tail, and the snakes can wriggle free and escape head first. You see that there in the illustration. It's hiding its head and holding its tail out, and I guess this is the predator here. The eastern hognose snake is a champion trickster. When threatened, it lifts and flattens its neck and hisses. If the enemy comes closer, the snake strikes at it with its mouth closed. If that doesn't work, the snake violently twists its body about, vomits, and defecates. Then it rolls over on its back and lies completely still, its tongue hanging from its open mouth as if it were dead. When the enemy leaves, the snake turns over and crawls off. Now, we're going to stop here, and this is our first stopping point in your workbook, in your student response book, and I want you to write down a question, anything that comes to mind after hearing those 2 pages. If you can't think of a question, then maybe you want to jot down some new learning, something that you did not know before. So you might use a sentence frame like, I still want to know. If you can't think of a question, maybe you want to say, I learned that. And I'm not going to fill these in, boys and girls, because today we've been practicing this now several days, and I want to hear from you and see what questions come to your mind as readers. So I'll give you just a moment to jot down your question or your new learning. Okay, let's continue on. Many poisonous snakes, such as coral snakes, use their bright markings to warn other animals to stay away. Some harmless king snakes and milk snakes look enough like poisonous ones that predators leave them alone. Other snakes use their colors to hide. You can tell how a snake deals with danger by its color pattern. Snakes that slither away often have striped bodies. The stripes make it hard to see that the snake is moving at all until suddenly it's gone. Kind of reminds me of that word camouflage. Many snakes that live in trees are green. Their color hides them well. Some are also long and thin like vines. People walking in a tropical forest must be careful if they reach for a branch, or they might grasp a snake by mistake. Snakes are camouflage experts, meaning that word camouflage, that they blend in. Solid brown or gray snakes lie on the forest floor, partly covered by leaves. The leaves break up the snake's long, thin outlines. Snakes decorated with spots and blotches also blend in with their surroundings, making them hard to see. These patterns are just as good for hiding the snake from its prey as from its predators. We can see here in the picture, I would infer that this little guy is not necessarily a predator, but rather prey. Many of these snakes lie in ambush, sometimes for weeks, waiting for their prey to show up. Okay, we're going to stop right there. So you're on the second stop box in your student response book, and I want you to write down something that you still want to know. You can write that as an I wonder statement, or you can just simply write it as a question. If you can't think of a question, then you can write down something that you learned. I'll give you just a moment to record your thinking. Okay, let's continue reading. Some snakes attract their prey instead of ambushing it. Ambushing it meaning like sneaking up and attacking it. The tail tips of such snakes are brightly colored in white, pink, or yellow. The snake holds its tail up and wiggles the tip while the rest of the body is hidden by its dull colors. The curious prey comes close and the snake grabs it. We can see that here. We see this frog and then the tip of the snake's tail. The rest of the snake is somewhat hidden. Oops, sorry for that. A snake's senses help it find food. Snakes can't hear well, but they easily feel vibrations through the ground. Many snakes have poor eyesight, but they all have a keen sense of smell, which is by far the most important way a snake takes in the world around it. When a snake flicks out its forked tongue, odor particles from prey or other snakes that have passed by stick to it. I actually think I remember that from Animal Senses. It was in one of those like extra fun facts when we were learning about the sense of smell. Scent cells inside the snake's mouth react to the odor particles and tell the brain what's out there. So now we have our third stopping point. You are in your workbook, and I want you to think about what you just learned on these 2 pages, and I want you to jot down a question. Something that you would still like to know. Again, boys and girls, if you can't think of a question after hearing those 2 pages read aloud, then maybe you want to write down something that you've learned. I'll give you just a moment to get caught up. Let's continue on to the last page in our reading. So we're right here on page 20. Heat-sensitive nerve endings on their heads allow many snakes to feel the body heat of their prey. Pit vipers have these sensors concentrated into 2 pits that lie between their eyes and their nostrils. I guess that's like right here. Scientists think pit vipers can also tell the shape or size of a warm-blooded animal using these pits. So this is our final place to stop. You're in stop box number 4, and I want you to stop and jot down a question that you might have. You can use my language frame if you would like. And again, if you can't think of a question that you would like answered, then go ahead and record any new learning. just a moment to get caught up. All right, great job today, guys, recording your questions. You will be using that thinking as we move forward into Wednesday and Thursday. There are some discussion board responses that you're going to complete. And remember, boys and girls, that good readers, this is something that we practice and that we do as we're reading, before we start reading, during our reading, and even after we're finished reading. We generate questions. We think about what it is that we're learning in the text. Again, if we went through and just read all of these pages, learning all of this information without stopping to think, our brains would be on overload, and chances are we probably wouldn't remember much of what we read. But since we have stopped and we've thought about our reading, we know that reading is thinking. So now, hopefully you can tell me a little bit more about snakes and how they use these special senses and characteristics to help them survive. Great job today.